We are here at the Milton Town Hall, Milton, Massachusetts, July of 2011. And Milton is one of 38 towns and cities in Massachusetts that belong to the International Council on Local Environmental Initiative, which is a government-to-government entity, unconstitutional, under the U.S. Constitution, Article 1, Section 10. Some town halls have really overt evidence of their town's membership. There might be a large check on display from a state government dealing with their acceptance of Agenda 21 and ICLEI, or just becoming a so-called green community where basically selectmen and unelected officials of a town are bribed with the taxpayers' money to belong to this. But what I have noticed in towns that belong to ICLEI are these rain barrels, and the town of Milton has an entity called Sustainable Milton, which no doubt was set up under ICLEI guidelines. The ICLEI is not an NGO. An NGO would be a non-government organization because its membership consists of governments. But something like Sustainable Milton would be an NGO that works to lobby the goals of the Agenda 21 and the ICLEI. And Milton is an old town, one of the oldest in Massachusetts. It goes back to 1640. A lot of history here, and before I walked in, I saw evidence of a lot of patriotic statues of those that fell in the Civil War and World War I and World War II and the War for Independence, Revolutionary War. And this is where the Suffolk Resolves were drawn up back in 1774 and delivered to the First Continental Congress by Paul Revere, and that house is still standing. And in the back here of this hall, you'll see a plaque commemorating those who were killed in the Civil War, a war between the states. They didn't call it the Civil War initially, and my friends down south call it the War of Northern Aggression. But anyway, so you see the rain barrels and the composters. And also, by the way, in this town was the birth of George H.W. Bush. The house he was born in is a private residence. But it is interesting that George Bush, H.W. Bush, was an enthusiast of Agenda 21. He signed the document shortly after it came out of Rio de Janeiro. And he made a comment, something like, that the American people will embrace the ideals that they're enshrined in the United Nations and Agenda 21. Agenda 21 is a 1,000+ page document that came out of the minds of socialists, Marxists, outright communists, and other advocates of total government, and it calls for basically the destruction of private property. Milton has a lot of private property and a lot of wealth, so this is very surprising that a town like this would embrace Agenda 21. But the average person does not understand the consequences, and they might think they're protecting their assets when in fact they're losing their assets. So we stopped by here in Milton to deliver information on the subject to the selectmen and others, and we're going to get more people involved and hopefully get this town and other towns and cities in the state and around the country to withdraw. A number of them already have. So we just need to keep up the work, and if you live in Milton, please contact us, John Birch Society, jbs.org, Friends of the Greater Boston John Birch Society, so you can get in touch with what we're doing locally. Also, the Massachusetts Liberty Preservation Association, masslpa.org, is also working hard in the state to defeat or to get Agenda 21 out of Massachusetts. And if you want to learn more information, you can contact us, and we'll be happy to put you in touch with people in your area that are fighting this important issue, and also get you some resources and references that will be beneficial.